loud as you can. Here we go. Hold. 10, 9, 8,
7, 6, 5.
Catastrophic situation is playing out in Australia.
The smoke visible from space.
A New Year's Eve crisis going into 2020.
People are telling us this is the worst they've ever seen it. Fires have burned more intensely, more ferociously. They seem to have a mind of their own.
Satellite imagery is showing that Arctic sea ice is at its lowest levels on record.
People don't really understand it until you actually see it coming at you in a wall of flame. Everything is so dry here, and it's been drying out for, 2 years. So it's very volatile. And of course we have the eucalyptus, which is in the air. It's volatile too. So it just explodes. It's very, very terrifying. The fire still came at us, even though we were very well prepared. There was over 200 firefighters here from various areas in Australia that were helping us to fight the fires.
Now, Australia's bushfires have burnt through 8 billion hectares of land since September. Remarkably, smoke can now be seen 12,000 kilometres away in Argentina and also in Chile. Have a look at this image from Santiago, which has come in the last few hours with smoke seen across the city. Also, the World Wildlife Foundation is saying up to 1 billion animals may have been killed directly or indirectly by the fires. We also know almost 2,000 homes have been destroyed and at least 24 people have died. Among them are 3 volunteer firefighters. Here's an image from the funeral of Andrew O'Dwyer, who was killed in December, and this is his little daughter being given her father's helmet and service medal at the ceremony. And thousands of firefighters are involved in trying to contain this vast crisis, and while milder weather is helping their efforts at the moment, unfortunately more hot, dry conditions will return soon.
Hello, with at least 8 people known to have died since Monday alone and thousands continuing to shelter in evacuation centres, the terrifying scale of Australia's bushfire disaster is beginning to emerge. A mass exodus from southern New South Wales is underway, with long lines of cars clogging highways leading right back to Sydney and Canberra. Fire officials have told holidaymakers to urgently leave a long stretch of coastline before more ferocious fires are expected to sweep in over the weekend.
The Amazon rainforest is on fire again. Whole mountains, hills and valleys engulfed in smoke. Some of these fires are absolutely huge, stretching as far as the eye can see in every direction. Beneath the canopy of these ancient trees, the fires rage. The heat from the blaze is absolutely astonishing. We filmed as trees exploded into flame, burning like a torch.
Medals, 2 Olympic gold medals, 18 All-Star appearances, one of the most brilliant and most respected players in NBA history. And when we'd run into each other over the years, we'd laugh about that night that we first met. We'd laugh at all the good things that have happened since. And we'd laugh about how much fun it was to raise kids and all the stupid mistakes we made trying to figure out how to be good dads. And Kobe had 4 daughters, and I had 2 daughters. And today, he and one of his girls are gone. But I think I knew Kobe enough to know that he rose to any challenge by digging deeper and getting back to work. So let's honor Kobe, Gianna, and the other lives that were lost yesterday by following his example. Love your family, love your teammates, and outwork everyone else in the gym.
Everything changed in a second. And that's what I want to talk about. Life is short and it's fragile. And we don't know how many birthdays we have. So just, we don't have to have a birthday to celebrate. Just celebrate life. And if you haven't told someone you love them, do it now. Do it. Tell people you love them. Call your friends, text your friends, hug them, kiss them.
I had many conversations with Kobe off of television, and they always involved his daughters, always. Once he retired from basketball, his life revolved around their lives. He was very proud of them. He loved being a father. He loved his family. He worked very hard, and he brought a lot of joy to a lot of people in the city, and we're going to miss him. This was a terrible loss for those families and for the Lakers, for Kobe's teammates, for his fans. It's just, there's no silver lining here. It's all bad. It's all sad. He was a bright light, and that's how I want to remember him.
This virus is spreading rapidly in China, and U.S. officials are very worried that it could come here. China has more than 200 confirmed cases of coronavirus, it's called, which produces pneumonia-like symptoms. 3 people have already died from this illness, which has spread to at least 3 other Asian countries. New video sent to CBS News claims to show hospital staff wearing protective gear, and that is protective gear, in Wuhan, China, considered ground zero for the outbreak. Ramy Inocencio is there. Ramy, what are you hearing?
Good morning, Gail. Yes, people here are understandably very nervous, especially after the number of infected exploded over the weekend. The airport here in Wuhan has also started to do body temperature checks of people before they take flight. Not only that, when we landed here in Wuhan earlier today, we saw people, many of them wearing masks around the baggage carousel while we were waiting for our own bags. I took that video there, and you can see people are nervous about the situation.
Prime Minister Leo Varadkar, in the last half hour, has said that all schools, colleges and childcare facilities in Ireland will close until March 29th.
That's why we need people to take this seriously. This is a virus. We know it's near us. We know it's in every county in Ireland. We know that if we don't control the surge, we will have a major problem coping. There is seriously no healthcare service that could cope with what Italy have just gone through, or indeed Wuhan and China.
The skies over Dublin city centre, the impact of the request to stay at home is evident. Empty streets, which under normal circumstances would be bustling with traffic. Footpaths and pedestrianised shopping streets, usually a hive of activity, deserted. Today, the Cabinet Subcommittee on COVID-19 met to review the enhanced travel, work and social distancing restrictions announced last Friday. The Taoiseach Leo Varadkar said the progress being made is not enough. As the surge has not yet come, it's only starting.
We will have a better idea towards the end of next week as to how we're getting on, because we'll know then whether the most recent restrictions are making a difference, and we'll be able to make a decision towards the end of next week as to whether those restrictions need to be extended, whether they can be relaxed in any way, or whether they can be refined in any way.
It means there are now 3,849 cases in the Republic, including 98 deaths. The numbers also increased in Northern Ireland to 774 cases and 36 deaths. Overall on the island, there are 4,623 cases, while 134 people have died.
In northern Siberia, it hit 100.4 degrees.
We are looking right now at the all-time record heat for the month of June.
A catastrophic Category 4 hurricane bearing down in the U.S.
We could be looking at a majority of the surrounding communities flooded with upwards of 9 to 20 feet of water.
The 2 largest wildfires in Colorado history are burning dangerously close, just miles apart.
On the heels of what has been a historic and deadly wildfire season, the winds fanning these flames are expected to last another 24 hours.
Friends' homes are on fire, and you're watching it with your eyes.
And it is officially the busiest hurricane season ever on record.
And the few people we met who chose to stay behind here, they stayed behind because they're simply overwhelmed. They're tired of running.
Just no rest in this record year for the hurricane-battered Gulf Coast.
Stronger storms, more storms, heavier rain. Our climate is changing.
This morning I informed the Cabinet that I'll ask the President to dissolve the 32nd Dáil. I'll travel to the Irish to do so this afternoon. I've always said that the election should happen at the best time for the country. Now is that time. We have a deal on Brexit, and after the positive vote in the House of Commons last Thursday, it's now certain that the UK will leave the European Union on the 31st of January in an orderly fashion. There will be no hard border, citizens' rights have been protected, and the common travel area will remain in place.
Programme, I'm Adrian Finnegan. Ireland's governments have long been dominated by two centre-right parties. Fine Gael, that's the party of current Prime Minister Leo Varadkar, and Fianna Fáil. But this appears to be changing. Opinion polls show Sinn Féin is now the most popular party and Varadkar is in third place. It means he might not be able to secure a third successive term. And Saturday's general election could produce a parliament where neither of the main parties has a majority. That opens the door to Sinn Féin playing a major role in any future government.
For a while, Micheál Martin was known as the leader in waiting. But on Saturday, that delay was over, arriving to be sworn in as Ireland's new Prime Minister, heading a coalition between his party, Fianna Fáil, and its longtime rival, Fine Gael. A government of two centre-right parties propped up by the smaller Green Party.
Is that recent trends in the spread of the virus are very serious. We are not close to the level and pace of the spread of the virus earlier this year, but we are at a point where we need to recommit ourselves to key behaviours and to accept additional controls. Today the government met to discuss what the public health experts have described as multiple significant outbreaks associated with workplaces, household and social activities.
Obviously, 2020 was just not the year everyone was expecting or hoping for. Well, tonight the countdown's on to new beginnings. In the final hours of 2021, we sent our Kim Powell out to hit the streets and find out what you're hoping for in the new year.
Okay, so what do you hope for in 2021 is the question?
But before we look to the future, we have to reflect on the past.
So nervous.
2020 for you?
Amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
How so?
I didn't have to work.
The weirdest year of my life. 2020 has been a roller coaster. Like, it started off like pretty peaceful, and then COVID struck, and just all kinds of stuff happened that I never expected. It's been a year.
I mean, obviously the COVID broke my heart, and everything like that. Seeing people lose a lot.
It's been one crazy ride, but we're trying to just take it one day at a time.
With the good, the bad, the weird, and the downright crazy comes some perspective and maybe a few life lessons.
Tells you the value of hanging out with people and just the major effect friends and family has on your life.
In 2020, I just realized how important community is to me.
A lot of perspective this year. I think I'm ready for 2021. It got to be better, right?
So, let's talk about 2021.
Let's think, what do I hope for in 2021?
Man, I don't even know at this point anymore.
I think my biggest hope is that things get back to normal for the most part.
Perhaps you're hoping for something for you.
I hope for in 2021 good grades and a fresh start.
I hope for the Chiefs to go back-to-back Super Bowl champions.
I hope to be traveling the world with this lady right here.
I hope for Cactus Man, Mountain Man, and Iron Man.
Or perhaps you're hoping for something for everyone.
And I just hope that everybody can realize, that we're all human, and that we all make mistakes. And not for each and everyone to be hard on each other. A little bit of discipline, good health for everyone, actually.
More love in the world, peace, everybody just helping each other get through it.
A little more love, a little more peace, a little less COVID.
I really, really, really hope that there is some support that's given to small businesses.
I hope for in 2021, people realize that there is more to life than social media, and they get off their phones.
I hope that in 2021, everybody can adapt, improvise, and overcome.
Whatever you're hoping for in 2021, all that matters is that there is hope for a happy new year.
I'm praying for